What's up, everyone? We are back and we are live. Welcome back to Draftapalooza. We're almost at the end of Draftapalooza season where we're drafting best ball teams every day, getting prepped for the 2026 NFL season. Special guest with me, Sam from Stat Rankings. Sam, you are an elite sports bettor, top of the game, up units all over the place, and you're a stats deep diver. So I'm excited to have you on the show today, drafting with me, and also talking about advanced metrics for NFL and how they can inform our DFS and fantasy football decisions. Sam, should we be using advanced metrics for our regular fantasy football decisions, like for our redraft team?
Yeah, 1000%. I mean, you look at the baseline, going from just pure volume, which you can look at target share, first read, target share, etc. And I think one of the most important things, maybe even specific to this season, is something that we've worked on Stat Rankings, is really looking at being able to dissect different splits. We have a bunch of different situations. So finding out players' projections and what we've seen historically when you take a certain player off the field, I think that's been huge in my personal drafting process, both in redraft and in best ball.
Yeah, I think that's huge. I'm a real big fan of like understanding coverages and, is this a zone coverage team? Is this a man coverage team? Who excels versus what? I found that type of information to be predictive in the past. So yeah, I'm excited to see kind of what layering that into our DFS process this season is going to do. But in the meantime, Sam, we're drafting best ball teams all summer long. And we're going to do a drafters draft here, the main event. And we were just talking about this contest off the air. So I want to share like those thoughts about this contest and some of the cool factors and features of it. So the drafters main event, which we are giving away a free ticket to, by the way, on this stream. So for you guys who are watching, we're gonna ask you to drop your drafter's name or go sign up at Drafter, and then drop the name, promo code DFS Army, of course, if you're signing up. But check this out, Sam. So we know what the Underdog contest is. We know how it's structured, the BBM. 14 weeks, and then you go into a playoff round where you effectively need a massive spike score in each week of the playoffs to advance to the next week. And then the final week will be some contest against like 500 or 700 people or 1,000 people. And you need to put up the biggest score of them all in that particular week. The downside to me of the BBM / Draftkings style contest is you're really putting all your eggs in a basket of which player happens to spike in week 17. Like if you don't catch the Kyle Pitts 50-pointer in week 17, or if you don't catch the 45-point performance by Trevor Lawrence last season in the playoffs, that's it. You could have drafted a great team, but you're not gonna win. I think this style rewards what I think knowing ball a little bit better. This is a cumulative score. So in the main event, and I'm going to join it here because sometimes it takes a minute. Sam, if you want to draft against me.
I actually don't have a drafters account. So
we got to get you on here. All right.
Yeah,
so we'll get you on
definitely.
there. Promo code DFS Army, putting 100.
Yeah, to touch on your point, I mean, so I primarily play on Underdog, but I completely agree with you. I mean, you look at just last season, if you had a pod with Kyle Pitts in it in the first week of the playoffs, I mean, you're practically dead. When your tight end puts up over 40 points, it's just, I mean, Kyle Pitts was an okay fade if you had none of Kyle Pitts last year, but end of the day, when you're in your pod, when there's that one out of, I want to say it's 12 teams, I think, in the first round. If one of those 12 teams has Kyle Pitts, which more often than not, there is at least one team that has Kyle Pitts, you're just stone dead. And that's another big discussion on Underdog and on DraftKings is your pod luck. I mean, you could be in a terrible draft lobby where you have the lowest scoring team in 75% of pods, but you happen to be in the right pod and you happen to advance, which some people actually do like the variance in it. But I agree with you. When it comes to pure skill, the cumulative format definitely takes the cake here.
Yeah, I think to me, the best thing about drafters and DraftKings style it's very much more. I think it plays much more like a traditional DFS large field GPP, in the sense that picking the best players is not going to be the end all be all, or being really good or beating closing ADP line value. None of that matters. The only thing really, like you said, that matters is you have to have enough lineups in there making the final that you get a spread of exposures, so you accidentally catch the pop game from Kyle Pitts that one year. Or how about that game? There was a game last year where Trey Tucker went off for 43 fantasy points in a single game, like a guy who did nothing all year. One game, 43 points. If he's just sitting on your bench, that was it. That's the move. That person won the 200K or the million or whatever it was. You needed that guy in that week. So it requires a massive spread. By the way, we got 7 left to go. So guys in the audience, drafters, $15. The one downside of streaming these, Sam, is they don't fill as fast as like a Draftkings or an Underdog one. So we got to get the crew here in this contest as well. So let's see if this thing fills. We got 7 more to join. I'll go over some fantasy football notes if we have a little bit of extra time. But back to this contest and the difference. So this one, the way it works is it's cumulative scoring. We already talked about that. It's going to reward you for putting together a really good team. Big penalty here, though. You cannot have like a gap on bye weeks or anything like that. Even a single week where you get down scoring because you have too many buys, that's going to cause you probably not to be able to finish in first. You got to be really careful.
Yeah, which I do think is pretty significant because, especially at tight end, if I happen to have, maybe say I drafted Brock Bowers or Trey McBride, and I happen to have a tight end that fits my secondary stack or whatnot, happens to share the same bye week, I'm completely okay taking the 0 in Underdog or DraftKings. But, in the cumulative format, there's just no way I'm going to intentionally take a 0 there. Whether it's adding Charlie Kolar to the end of my draft, something at the end, I want to have something going there just to not have a complete 0 in a cumulative format. So I do think it's pretty significant, especially when you start getting towards the end. There's some flies that you want to take shots on, and then having to address that position, it kind of does throw off your strategy a bit. But yeah, I think even to not quite as often, but I am okay at times taking a 0 at quarterback if it happens to share a duplicating bye week in Underdog and DraftKings, but would never do that here on Drafters.
Yeah, you can almost throw away on DraftKings and Underdog. You can almost throw away a week. You're accepting because you can accept a 1 week loss, especially if you're dominating other weeks because you kind of put too many buys all in one spot. Totally different here. I'm telling you, you will not win this. If you have a 0, like a quarterback 0, even 1 week or anything like that, you're going to, the end result is the winner will win by like tenths of a point because there's so many people in there. So, and it's cumulative scores. So cannot do it. I tend to draft 4 tight ends in this format. I'll get a 4th one because those last couple rounds are just garbage players anyway. So I'd rather just tack on a Colby Parkinson there. You mentioned Charlie Kolar. That's really digging down the list, I think. But, there's usually like a Mike Gesicki hanging around. There's usually a Colby Parkinson, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and especially on drafters where it's 20 rounds. You get to a point where you just have no idea if these guys are going to be on the field. But even say go to Las Vegas and Michael Mayer as a second string tight end. They're going to run a lot of 12 personnel. He's a pseudo starter that you're just getting for free, and you're guaranteed that he's not a 0. And that's really all you can ask for when you get down that late.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely. And for me, Sam, I'll tell you right now, the reason I like playing these games and the reason I like best ball in general, I like reading the rules of the game, understanding its structure, and then looking for the edge in terms of not just how I'm going to draft, but how is the field drafting? Are they doing it wrong? And is there somewhere within that structure that I can do different to give myself an edge? Like last season, one of my favorite contests last year was the Eliminator on Underdog. That was the contest I put the most entries into. It was actually, to me, it's the most fun contest to actually follow over the course of the season because you literally, how many are alive? There's a very specific metric each week that kind of lets you know what's going on. And what I noticed when I was drafting those, here we go. 3 more to join, by the way. Come on, guys, get in there. Join it up. Main event on Drafters. Let's go. We got 3 left. But what I noticed was a lot of the people, at least half in every pod that I was in, were drafting it as if it was a BBM. They could not mentally make the adjustment that an eliminator is total. So we were getting 3 or 4 teams doing 0 RB in an eliminator. Now, let me tell you something. 0 RB doesn't even work not in an eliminator, but when you make it in an eliminator where you're gone after week 1, what the hell are you waiting for? You think an injury? When is that injury going to happen that's going to feed your 0 RB approach?
Right.
When you're
and
gone.
I mean, the whole concept of 0 RB is trying to stay afloat and not get too far behind the league until your 0 RB candidates hit. But that's just not possible in eliminator formats. I mean, you take a dud in the first week, that's it. It doesn't matter, if you hit on the next breakout running back in week 5, you're already cooked by then. And I think that is hard to get a grasp on. And the big thing is, especially the guys drafting an underdog, it's hard for them to get away from the mindset that ceiling is everything. Like, you have to play for floor in eliminator.
Yeah.
And I feel like people just don't understand that. Again, especially in the underdog crowd.
It was an advantage. It was something that was palpable. It was something I noticed in every single room, except for the ones I started doing on stream where I started getting 9 or 10 people from the stream in the same room. And I'm like, guys, I don't want to draft these against the knowledgeable pod. Get out of my freaking room. But we started doing that. But pretty much everyone that I did last season, and now even this year, I mostly did them in slows, and I find 2 or 3 or 4 boneheads in every single pod. And I'm like, man, if I can't advance 90% of my teams past week 1, I'm going to be massively disappointed. Like, I want to get half the field will be eliminated. If I've got 90% of my lineups still in there week 2, I'm feeling good. And then after that, with that contest, it just goes to the scramble, like head to head every week. You're going to have good teams get wiped by going against even better teams that week. And then other times you'll get through with bad teams. Here we go on pick 6. Oh, they're leaving me Jonathan Taylor or Jackson Smith and Jigba.
I have a lean to JSN, but I do love Taylor too.
I'm going to go with Sam picks for this one. So your lean is JSN. Let's go JSN, and we'll start with a wide receiver.
And this is full PPR, correct?
Full PPR.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's bonuses per se, but it's full PPR. So we can acceptably take some wide receiver. We can acceptably take some wide receivers. And plus, again, this is cumulative scoring. So our goal here is get the players who are going to put up a lot of points. That's simple. Yeah. Looking over the group here, guys watching. I don't know if you're in the pod with us. Let us know. As far as I can see, I see Hook 20, who I know is here in the chat with us. We've got 9 here in the chat. Sayasog in the pod with us as well. So I don't know if anybody else is in here, but if you are, let us know in the chat as well. Let's see who we're drafting against. We'll talk a little bit about your draft. But again, cumulative scoring. Sam, another thing for this contest for me, I do not attempt to stack at all. I see no benefit.
Yeah. I don't think you need to in a cumulative format. It certainly does help, boost your correlation, which you still. A correlation obviously helps in a cumulative formats when your players are scoring together, but I don't think it's a necessity.
Yeah, I did not. So I've heard. It's funny. I talked to.
Yeah, to me, it's definitely Derrick Henry here. This is actually why I love the wide receiver in the middle round start, is because Derrick Henry always gets towards the mid to the end. And I understand he's getting older. He's going to drop off eventually, right? But is it going to happen this year? I'm probably not going to count on it. So that's why I love it. Like, for me, I have Derrick Henry ranked above Chase Brown, and you see Chase Brown going there at 11. So starting JSN, and then who I have as a 1-2 turn pick, that's why I really like starting the JSN. I'm on Rob Brown's St. Brown start in the first round, coming back with the Derrick Henry there. I love those starts.
Yeah, really solid. I don't have a ton of Derrick Henry this year, probably because I do favor Chase Brown a little bit. and a couple of other names, but I didn't see Derrick Henry slowing down. And last season was a down season for him, not because of him slowing down, but because he needs the Ravens to win a game in order for him to usually excel. And the Ravens just lost a lot last year for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
They just
and we obviously have a completely different coaching scheme, which is something else that at Stat Rankings we are working on. Is you can look at different coaching head coaches and coordinator tendencies. So we'll see. It's a new regime in Baltimore, but no matter who it is, I mean, you got to imagine that the offense will ideally run through Derrick Henry, especially in what we expect to be more positive game scripts. But we were talking about those spike week outliers. I mean, look at week 17 last year. I mean, the last time we saw Derrick Henry absolutely nuked. I think he put up a 40 burger in the championship. So maybe it's recency bias. That's the last thing we saw of him, but none of his underlying metrics that he's washed yet. He is going to drop off eventually. Yes, it happens to every running back. I'm not counting on it this season. And that's another thing is I think ever since I've started playing basketball, I've always been overweight on Derrick Henry, and it's done me good so far. So I'm just going to keep riding it. I mean, I mentioned Chase Brown specifically. I do like Chase Brown a lot. I mean, I live in Cincy, so, Bengals obviously always rooting for the Bengals. But, Chase Brown, we're sort of projecting, and we're taking a small sample size of his splits with Burrow. And I think he is going to be really good this season, assuming the team is healthy. But to me, I feel like Derrick Henry is a lot more locked in. You typically see 6 to 7 picks separating those guys, which is, again, it's just a guy that towards the top half of first round is always someone that I'm targeting on the way back.
Yeah, no, you can't go wrong. I think you can't go wrong with Henry. And yeah, you're gonna have ups and downs. You're gonna have ups and downs with a player like that because he's just all players are gonna give you some ups and downs though. But his ups are really, really good. All right, we're on the clock here, Sam. Options: Devontae Smith, Ladd McConkey at wide receiver would be my options, or Javonte Williams, the running back. What do you think?
For me, it's Devontae. I was really hoping McBride got to us. We just barely missed him. I think having an elite tight end in a cumulative format is really nice to help you separate. But I do like Devontae Smith a lot, especially in PPR. I mean, it's not a hot take that I'm pretty sure we're going to see a career year out of him. And the interesting thing here is seeing Devontae go at 30 in undrafters and full PPR, and the fact that he goes a lot earlier in Underdog is kind of weird to me. So I think we're getting a nice discount here.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's very obvious, but AJ Brown's departure should lead to monster games for Devontae Smith. The splits, that's another tool that Stat Rankings has, but the splits for Devontae Smith in games where AJ Brown plays versus when he doesn't is almost like double. So Smith has been an absolute beast in games without AJ Brown. Obviously, they have other wide receivers now that they've replaced Brown with, but I don't think any of them are command the rock type wide receivers right now. Certainly not at this point in their career. So I think it's going to be Smith and Goddard as the focal points there. And I absolutely love his chances to elevate to a guy that we think of more as a second rounder. Let's say we're taking him in round 3. I think next year we'll be looking at Devontae as like a round 2 guy in that Nico Collins, Drake London zone where they're kind of late round 2 type, where we take that second tier, elite tier of wide receivers most of the time.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, right now, Dontavian Wicks is a clear-cut wide receiver too, from all we've heard from camp. And I mean, this is a guy that couldn't even crack the wide receiver 3 in Green Bay. Dontavian Wicks is actually a guy I think on his AP for a guy that's locked into a role is pretty nice. But I mean, that's the kind of competition we're talking about. You mentioned Dallas Goedert. I really don't understand Dallas Goedert's price on drafters, on Draftkings, on Underdog. I mean, it is so low, and I think that's another guy that's a clear number 2 option. Saquon Barkley, I think we are going to see an uptick in his receiving volume, but that is something that we haven't really seen much in Philly, and not something that Jalen Hurts typically does. So I think it's really just these 2 guys, and you can pair Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert. Don't have to worry about a stack, but you're getting almost the entire passing offense. Obviously not a great passing offense, but it's just so much volume between the 2. So I love even pairing those guys together.
NFL Week 1. Saquon Barkley going up against the Commanders. Not exactly a scary matchup. No ownership on him. Everybody's taking other guys. No one wants to roll the dice on a maybe fairly inexpensive Saquon Barkley after last season. Is Barkley is a Barkley week 1 smash that leads to a Millie Maker win that crazy of a thought?
I'm gonna have a lot of Saquon Barkley week 1.
Oh boy,
Definitely will. Yeah.
there it is. How do you feel about Josh Jacobs? I could use another running back here. We got Jacobs, Montgomery, Tootin, and Scadaboo as choices.
I think this is the kind of tournament that you just take the shot. I mean, this is a guy that would be going in this 2-3 turn if it wasn't for this suspension risk. It's either we're gonna lose this draft if he gets suspended, or we just got a great value if he doesn't. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all about hitting for the ceiling here. So
I am one that I don't really think he's going to get suspended.
I agree.
Do you agree that she had it coming?
I don't. I don't know the whole story on that, but I mean, this really reminds me of the whole Rashee Rice situation where it's just so late into the offseason that they're going to prolong it to next season. Maybe something happens next season, but at this point of the year, I don't think we're going to see anything.
Yeah.
And again, I think if it was all systems go, this is a guy that would be right there next to Kyren Williams. So we're getting a nice discount. And again, if he gets suspended for half the season, we're just going to lose this contest, and that's okay. I mean, you get 150 bullets, you know.
Yeah, could not agree more. Could not agree more, guys. By the way, for those watching, let us know if you have we have a $15 ticket to give away on drafters for this main event. And what I'm going to do is set up a little spinner randomizer thing here. I'll start putting that on screen, and I'll just put whatever name. So drop your drafter's name in the chat. I'll start filling in the wheel of names. And once we get a bunch of names on there, there he is, Airborne 3504. That'll be the first one. Getting these old names out. 3514. Okay, one name in. But yeah, we'll start putting those names in, and we'll do a giveaway. Oh, we got it. Oh, they're coming fast. Hold on. We're back on the clock. Sam. Ooh. Okay, wait a second.
Right, if you have a guy you like, go for it.
I mean, we're in the Jadarian Price spot. I got other guys I like here too, but I really like Jadarian Price, and
yeah,
I think I'm gonna.
Go ahead. That's what works for me. Yeah.
He's not going to get back to us. All right, and that gives me a second here to add some names. So we got Airborne 3504. We got Peloton 25. If you had an account here, Sam, I could put you in here.
Yeah,
but then they'd accuse
I gotta get on it as soon as I get off. So you said that you're on the last couple of days of Draftapalooza. For me, it's like I'm just getting started. I backload my drafts, so I want to say I have 85-ish drafts to go. But I mean, it's worked for me. I mean, overall on Underdog, I have a 30% advance rate, which is actually top 1 percentile. Nice. So I mean, if it's working for me, I'm just not going to change the process. It is a grind, and I think I have to average about 7 drafts a day. So I mean, I the first thing I do in the morning is get a workout in. So I could bump out 3 to 4 drafts while I get my cardio in, do one during the weights, and then I'll have 4 more to do throughout the day. So it's not too bad, but with all the information you get, especially in the late rounds, I think it was was it 2 years ago, Juwan Jennings breakout year. I think I drafted him in round 18 every single draft, and he was the guy that just wasn't drafted. So it's like getting a top 8 wide receiver in round 18 and have him on every single team. I mean, you just can't replicate that with the early drafts. And you can definitely make some monster teams early on, which is the case against, backloading your entries. But again, I'm just not going to change the process. What's working for me. It is a grind, but yeah, just got to get through it.
It's kind of it's an interesting kind of dilemma or mix of situations, right? Like, should you draft early and you can get some sort of closing line value type situations? You can be drafting, Stephon Diggs before he finds a team, and you'll get a little discount and that sort of thing. Or like I was doing early so I do really well with those. Like this offseason, I was like Parker Washington in the 70s and Jonathan Brooks at 110. I was all over that early this offseason. And so I end up with a ton of them. Now they're almost so expensive that it's not even worth taking. Wait, we got a pick coming up here. Let me think.
Let's see, wide receiver.
Yeah, we've got 3 running backs.
I think it's DK Metcalf here, but I know people are mixed about DK. But yeah,
Interesting.
he's a guy that I'm drafting around this spot a good bit. I guess on full PPR, it's not as appealing, but the wide receivers that he's going around, I think there's a lot of upside.
I'll give it a shot. I don't have almost any DK Metcalf. So not a guy I've been personally taking much of because I hate Aaron Rodgers. And
yeah,
not that I hate him. I actually like Aaron Rodgers, but I hate his playing style. More, his 44-year-old playing style just doesn't excite me for fantasy. So I haven't been taking much of DK. Did you hear that DK Metcalf? I saw an interview with DK Metcalf, and he says he eats candy all day, like that he doesn't really eat a lot of food.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I mean, you look at his physique and a diet almost strictly of candy. I don't know how he does it, but for me, I think it's just more of this range where you're getting in the. You mentioned Jonathan Brooks in the 110. I mean, 110 is a lot different than here at 69. You got Warren, Henderson. From what I've been seeing, it looks like, Ramondre is a clear RB1, which Ramondre is actually a guy that I've drafted a lot. One of my highest exposure right now. But the guys that you're passing up on between Jalen Warren and Rico Dowdle, I've heard Rico Dowdle is the favorite to lead the backfield and carry. So I'd rather skip through that tier of running backs and grab a receiver. I think we should grab our quarterback here if we have Hurts. I know you said you didn't talk about the stack, but
oh yeah, I'm not worried about stack. I don't even want stack.
Hurts or Daniels. I mean, Daniels I have ranked the highest here. I have Caleb below both of them, but Daniels I would have the highest here.
Let's go. I'm going with Sam. So I've done. Let's go with Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels. We forgot about Jay last year because he was hurt, and we forgot that he was good.
Yeah, and I think I mean you look at the gap between Drake May and Jaden Daniels. I mean, think about their ADPs just last year. Drake May was everyone's favorite late round quarterback. Jaden Daniels was supposed to be the second year leap, and then now they're just completely flipped. And it's not that Jaden Daniels was just terrible when he's on the field. He just wasn't healthy all season long. Now you got Stephon Diggs in the mix. Terry McLaurin's fine. You got Chiga Okonkwo. You got a nice receiving running back in Rachaad White. So I love Jaden Daniels. He's also my highest exposure at quarterback. This is around the same ADP that you get an Underdog. And this round 7 range, this 6-7 range is just so gross. I told you I drafted a good bit of DK Metcalf. He's not someone that I like, but it's just I hate everyone else too. And oftentimes I need to come out with the receiver. So I'll grab DK. It also sets up, I think it's a priority for me to stack on Underdog. So DK Metcalf sets me up for a 17th round Aaron Rodgers. So I don't mind having that as an outlet as my second stack towards the end of drafts. But yeah, I just don't like this range. So if I can come out with a quarterback in 6 or 7, I'm always looking to attack that or a tight end. So
a tight end might have been the move right there. I'm trying to look at who went next. Tucker Kraft. So, if Warren was there, that would be a spot. All right. Wide receiver group. We still have Michael Wilson, Wandale, Cortland Sutton, Addison available. I don't like Addison, but I do like Michael Wilson. QB position could grab another one, but
I would probably pass on QB. I do like Wandale Robinson a good bit. It's crazy how high he is. This is closer to where I have him ranked in my personal rankings. And I know it's different in full PPR, but he's about 2 rounds cheaper on Underdog. So he's kind of a guy where I don't mind, drafting him a round earlier because I have him 2 rounds earlier. So for me, it's not really reaching. But if this is where he goes on drafters, I'm fine taking him there. Also, I mentioned skipping out on that running back in the 6-7 tier. I also do like grabbing a running back here in the round 8 range because guys like they used to go off the board, J.K. Dobbins, Ja'Cory Crosky-Merritt. I don't think they're that far off from the 2 rounds above us where you see Kenny Gainwell. We were talking about earlier with the Patriots Harvey. Backfield. Yeah, I don't think these guys are that much different than any of those guys. You mentioned RJ Harvey in the same backfield. So I think I have that in a big giant tier, and we get to the end of the tier in the 8-9. So I often just grab the running backs at the end of the tier that are remaining here.
Yeah, I like that thought. And let's look at who just went. When you look at the group of running backs, you got Corum. Mason is a guy I'm taking a ton of, and later than this usually. I have a lot of Mason. I don't really tend to take Pollard, but Crosky-Merritt going ahead of Rachaad White here probably makes sense based on what we've seen in the preseason. There's Alec Pierce. I like
Yeah,
Alec
recent
Pierce.
reports to Grosky
He's off the
Merritt.
pup.
Yep.
Pierce
I
is
actually
awesome.
also like buying the dip on Chuba Hubbard now that I think him and Brooks are going to be really just a 1A 1B sort of split. So I think I just like grabbing the cheaper one. I do have a lot of Jonathan Brooks too. I just want I mean I don't know how it's going to pan out, so I just want to have exposure and sort of diversify my portfolio, and it is a lot easier to get the cheaper one. You mentioned Mason. If he was there at our pick, I would have for sure snapped taking him. He's a guy that I draft a lot.
I don't mind the Chuba Hubbard spot here. So I'm going to expand on your point about Chuba Hubbard because it's kind of funny. So in the beginning of the season, or the beginning of the draft season, let's call it, after last year, right? One of the things I was looking at, because I love Jonathan Brooks. I know him from Dynasty. I drafted him. Like, I'm very well aware of Jonathan Brooks and the 18-month absence and the whole thing. So what I was saying was, hey, if we're concerned, so what's the worry with Jonathan Brooks? The worry with him is, hey, 2 ACL tears, has never even played more than a couple games in the NFL. Is this a Darius Geis situation? I don't know if you remember that guy, but where he got hurt a couple times and just kept losing seasons. And he went from like this exciting running back to, all right, you've missed too much time. You're no longer, I call them career enders, when you get the third injury and it's just like your career's finished. Like you can't stay healthy. Sorry. So I was saying, listen, if we think that Brooks is injury prone and that's why we're not taking him, well, then even better for Chuba, right? If Brooks gets hurt, that's going to make Chuba become the sort of lead back. I think Brooks has more talent, but Brooks can get hurt. And we've seen Chuba produce quality fantasy outcomes in games where he's gotten a full workload. Like, I don't think Chuba Hubbard is a good or an above replacement level player, but if he's getting the touches, I don't care. Running back stats go to players gets touches. So whenever there's a player who we perceive as injury prone, like Jonathan Brooks, but even more so like a guy like Christian McCaffrey. Well, I'm scared to take McCaffrey. What if he gets hurt? Well, okay. If he gets hurt, what's going to happen? Oh, this other guy is going to win people their leagues. You got to think of the second effect of an injury, not just effect 1, effect 2. Sadly, we don't truly know who the backup is to Christian McCaffrey, but if we did, and that's why I take a lot of shots on Kalen Black. I've been dice rolling, and that's the guy. But same concept with Chuba and Brooks. If Brooks is injury prone and he gets hurt, Chuba is going to be the guy that benefits. And now getting him at pick 102 when he was being taken at pick 60 earlier in the offseason, that's a win no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at any aggregate projection source of Chuba Hubbard's projection versus where he goes, I mean, he could be one of the most mispriced players on the board. So I just like, I mean, he's a guy, again, not sexy, limited ceiling unless there's an injury, which is a high probability there would be an injury in that backfield. I just think he's too cheap, even just for his floor.
There we go.
I was really hoping that George Kittle would come back. He's another guy that I've been targeting a lot with the recent reports. We were talking about Dallas Goedert. Do you think that we could wait on him on the next round?
It's so dangerous. I'm kind of thinking, since we talked about it, we should just do it, right?
Yeah, let's go for it. Yeah,
let's go for it.
And it's right in line with his ADP too. Yeah, definitely. If I miss, I think so. What I normally do is, unless I have a McBride or Bowers, this range of, I'd say Sam Laporta to George Kittle is a big tier for me. So as soon as I'm on the last one of those, which is normally George Kittle is the last one remaining, he's immediately the guy that I grab, especially with the reports that they're not even ruling him out for week 1. So you're saying at most he's going to miss 1 game. I mean, this guy should be a 5th round pick if he's only missing 1 game, in my opinion. So he's a guy that I love. And as soon as I miss Kittle, it's instantly where's Goddard at. So
now Ray Zanny's saying Daniels going over Burrow and Hurts is criminal. You know, we were deciding between he went after Burrow, but we took him after Burrow, but we were deciding between Hurts and Daniels. I like them both. Yeah, I do. I like them both this year. I think Hurts sets up nicely for this season. Daniels needs to stay healthy. But people forget. Oh, I had a factoid about Jaden Daniels for you. Not a lot of people know. Remember how poised Jaden Daniel was his rookie season? Like, he was seeing the field like a veteran, not like a rookie. And I remember watching the games going, man, this kid doesn't play. I don't see happy feet. I don't see any rookie sort of tendencies with him. And I was trying to figure out why. As it turns out, Jaden Daniels used some experimental technology to, instead he used some experimental technology of like VR, where for training, and these were like some European guys who made some tech for like soccer apparently, but they tested it out for NFL football. And effectively, rather than watching game film and coaching tape and trying to imagine what you might do, it's like he did a full virtual reality where plays are playing out as if he's in them. And then they did it in 2x speed so that he's seeing it at twice the speed of the actual human movement. And supposedly that kind of helped get your brain right so you're not seeing the game too fast.
Do you like Purdy here?
I don't like Purdy. I usually go with Shook or Malik Willis in a spot like this.
You think we can wait on a quarterback? Let's go to wide receiver.
All right, let's see what's going on here. Myers, Coker, Khalil Shakir, Lane, or Rashid Shaheed. We got 6 seconds.
You go ahead. Pick a quarterback or receiver, I'd say. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Malik Willis for this one. I'll tell you, actually, in this contest, Purdy would have actually been fine. I've been avoiding Brock Purdy because the 49ers, this is more of a BBM thing. See, my BBM brain just crept in. The 49ers have an absolutely brutal final 3 weeks of the playoff schedule. Seattle, Denver, it's just a brutal. I don't have it open in front of me, but theirs is the single most difficult playoff schedule of any team. And so I kind of been avoiding players from the 49ers. I don't think they're set up for this year. There goes Jordan Tyson. What a bad pick in a cumulative scoring contest.
Yeah, for me, I think we're banking on Jaden Daniels being our dude. So honestly, when I'm looking at this, might be an underdog thing too. It's like when I'm looking at my secondary stack, I really couldn't care what my secondary quarterback's playoff schedule is. I'm hoping that my second quarterback doesn't crack my lineup in the playoffs, so I don't care about their playoff stretch. And I think, you look at Baker Mayfield going ahead of him. I'd much prefer Brock Purdy. I have him decently high. I don't get a lot of him because I'm always stacking underdog, and George Kittle is really the only 49, unless I have CMC, of course, is the only 49er that I would have before him to draft him. So I don't get a lot of him, but I do like him a good bit, even with the injuries. I don't love Mike Evans, but that is another pass catcher that they added. So
we could our next pick's coming up. We've got pretty good looking group of wide receivers still with Lane, Trey Tucker, who I love, Khalil Shakir, good PPR. Even Jacoby Myers is acceptable.
Yeah, I don't mind Jacoby Myers in this format. I think I know he was in a brace, but I think that's just precautionary. I think he should be good. Also, like Shaheed. Anything works. Or another tight end would be fine too. Yeah,
we're definitely going to need another tight end in the next round. We only have one here. We'll get that second one, but again, tight ends are available late too. I don't mind even taking a lot of garbage tight ends. And just filling up the back end of the roster with those. I'm a big Trey Tucker guy this year. How do you feel about Trey Tucker? I'm liking what I'm hearing out of Raiders camp about him sort of being the WR1 in a WR1-less type of offense.
Yeah, so I had actually mentioned this in a chat with us and a mutual friend. I remember Trey Tucker and I think we either graduated the same year or 1 year apart.
Oh, yeah.
Both went to UC, but that's also not why I'm targeting Trey Tucker. But I absolutely love Trey Tucker, especially in best ball. I buy the reports that he's a wide receiver one because that was my notion coming into the season. Why wouldn't he be? He's sort of like the incumbent starter still on the team. Obviously, he had Jacoby Myers and Devontae Adams to compete with in a stretch there. And now it's just him and Brock Bowers. So to me, it's like he's a deep threat, boom bust guy that you absolutely love for best ball. He has his winning weeks. And I just think, I think he's actually pretty good. He definitely has the athleticism to stretch the field. So I like him a lot. He's definitely up there. I want to say he's in my top 3 wide receiver exposures right now. I was hoping that we avoided mentioning him to see if he comes back on the turn. We'll see if this draft room gives him to us, but definitely a guy that I absolutely love. And he's another guy, Underdog specifically. I mean, no one's really fighting for Mendoza, but he's a guy if I can get in the last round,
Yeah.
even if he sits for 75-50% of the year. If he's my 18th round pick, I mean, I think it's great. It's a nice little mini stack that you can tack on it towards the end.
I like it. This is an interesting redraft question. Actually, somebody just had almost the exact same trade to me the other day. Random, totally not this person, but Loveland and Scattaboo for Bowers in 10-team redraft.
I think in a 10-team one, I think I would deny that because number one, I'm completely fading Scattaboo. I'm gonna have 0% of him. I don't trust the New York backfield. And Trey Tucker did fall to us. So
yeah, we're taking
beautiful.
Trey. Easy one. So this guy would be giving Loveland and Scattaboo to get.
Oh, yeah. I would definitely do that 100%. In a 10-team, you just want the studs, you want firepower. Yeah. I mean, you just again in 10 teams, taking 2 teams away from the equation. You just want to load up and be as top heavy as possible, not nearly as concerned about depth. And I don't know, like Scattaboo, I think he's going to be a starter in most leagues, but I don't know how confident I feel about him. I don't know if they're going to try and make Najee a real thing. Is Tyron Tracy going to be on the team still? I don't know, but if he is it going to be a 4-man backfield? I do like the Giants overall. Like, obviously, I love Malik Neighbors. Malachi Fields is an interesting dart in the late rounds. Likely should get decent volume, but I'm completely fading the run game.
Do you think that on the Giants? So I've been posing this question to everybody that comes on here, and I genuinely don't know the answer. There's, Grok gave me an answer the other day that she thought was right, but I don't know this answer. Who do you think the WR2 is for the Giants as of right now?
Malachi Fields.
You think it's Malachi?
I mean, it's between him. I mean, I would have said Slayton, but it looks like Fields is. I like Schultz a lot here, by the way.
Yeah, we need another tight end, so we'll grab Schultz if 9 leaves him for us.
Calvin Austin. I mean, he has obviously done for the season, and I think that sort of Malachi Fields already got all the reps with the first team in the preseason. And to me, it's like I know what the rest of the guys are. Like, I know who Darius Slayton is, a guy that I've been heavily overweight on in a couple seasons too. So I think he's a pretty solid player as well. But I think we know the kind of guy he is, and he just doesn't command targets. And I think it's more of the unknown. And I think I'd be willing to bet on the unknown of him being the second target in the offense versus what I've already seen with Slayton. And that's what I've seen with Slayton, without Malik Neighbors, without a real tight end, without anyone else commanding volume. And if he wasn't able to draw targets then, why do I think he can draw targets as a number 2 option with Malik Neighbors healthy, with Likely in the mix? Malachi Fields, I at least don't know. And I think that's enough to sway me that he could be the wide receiver too.
Because listen, Malachi, we're not talking about who I'm going to put WR2 on my fantasy team. We're talking about, like, is Malachi worthy of pick 18 on Underdog or pick 19 or 20 in this format? And just like, if he just has any sort of life in him at all, great. Like, that's why I want the number 2. Ray says, who fuck the number 2? They're going to suck. But, like, I don't care if they're bad. I just want to know if I'm going to have a couple of spike weeks that make it worth a best ball play. Quick question, dynasty question from Elite Biscuits. Would you flip Chase Brown for Garrett Wilson straight up in dynasty? Frisky, zesty team would leave me with Quinshawn, Swift, Brooks, Spears at right. Here's the deal. I'm just going to answer this real quick. If I'm rebuilding, yes, I'm making that swap. If I need to win this year, no, I think that Chase Brown, that's for me. I want to hear your take on it, Sam. But if I need to win this year, Chase Brown above Garrett Wilson for me. But if I have a longer term view, if I'm in any sort of rebuild, fuck it, I'll do the flip. Chase Brown is kind of older than you think anyway. And I don't need a stud running back for the next 2 years if my team overall isn't going to compete for a championship. What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I have Garrett Wilson significantly higher than Chase Brown in Dynasty, and Chase Brown significantly higher than Garrett Wilson in redraft. So that's the perfect answer.
All right.
Maybe look at running back.
Running backs, we got Braylon Allen, Kalen Black. We're beyond Alvin Kamara. Okay.
I'm passing on Kamara for now. I don't mind Braylon Allen. Actually,
little Jets backup action as a one-off.
Yeah. because we're gonna get soon to a range where we don't know if they are the clear backup. So I think once you get I didn't even see Brian Robinson down there.
Oh,
That's
he's
another
still
guy.
available too. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
can't even imagine a world in which Bijan gets hurt. My brain won't allow it.
Well, I don't even think it's that. I think there could be situations where Brian Robinson just gets the cheap 2-yard touchdown, and sometimes 8 points is going to be enough to make your lineup. So
That's true.
again, I think
Braylon
we are
Allen will do
talking.
that too, though. Yeah, Braylon Allen's going to be in the game
Yeah,
at the goal line. They'd like to take Brees out at the goal line.
yeah, I think so. You see between I'd say I don't know if the ADP I'd imagine is pretty similar here, but the Braylon Allen, Brian Robinson, and Ray Davis, that trio of running backs is normally the very last of the handcuffs that I know these are the handcuffs. Usually I like to grab a running back in that group and then sort of just attack the other positions. You mentioned Alvin Kamara. He's a guy that is consistently falling to the 18th round, which is where I'm taking him just because he can miss a month and I don't care in the 18th round anymore. But yeah, I think once you get beyond that group of running backs I mentioned, we're just throwing darts. I have heard positive stuff about Emmitt Smith being the clear RB2 in Kansas City for the time being. So he's another guy that I don't mind taking shots
Emmett
on.
Johnson, yeah.
Or sorry, Emmett Johnson, yeah.
Emmitt Smith would be awesome as an
that'd be pretty sick.
I'll take that. Yeah. Emmett Johnson. Yeah, there's the late guys I take a lot of. Kalon Black, Emmett Johnson. Normally, I mean, Kamara being here, I'm fine with it, dude. I'll jump on that. Justice Hill is a guy I like to get a lot of as well. And my super sneaky, you ready for my super sneaky last round pick or second to last round in this format?
Yeah.
Or for Underdog, it's super last round. Jalen Wright on the Dolphins. Oh, I love him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned Justice Hill. He's a guy that barely gets, I mean, he doesn't get drafted at all on Underdog. And that's a guy that I'm using him as like a tournament contrarian pick just because he doesn't even have an ADP, which means he's not getting drafted. But you want to look at wide receivers? I think there's a couple interesting names.
Malachi. We got
between Omar and Malachi. I like both of those guys. So if you have a preference between those,
I'm not taking Jets players ever. I hate them.
So I will say Adonai Mitchell, he's one of my
except for Adani. Yes, except for Adani.
Absolutely, I love where he goes in drafts. I think about the same range here. I think
look where he went. By the way, I just want to point this out. This little group is really good. So right after we took Braylon out, there was one last little kind of what I consider to be the last like splooge of quality wide receivers, and that I kind of like. And it's Adani Mitchell and Malik Washington. Those two guys are guys that I think are going to well outplay those ADPs. Like Malik Washington is the WR1 on Miami. I don't care. Give me around 15. Okay. And Adani Mitchell is an actual real life exciting player when he catches the ball. You know, he just needs to get his head right.
Yeah, I think Adonai Mitchell, like 177 is about the same price that you get him on Underdog. I think he's going to give you at the minimum 3 spike weeks to crack your lineup. And in round 15, those 3 weeks are all you need for him to pay off that tag. So I love it. He's locked into 2 wide sets. Definitely a guy that I'm heavily prioritizing. I love what I've seen in the preseason as well. A couple of tight ends that I was looking at have come off the board. I would like a good tight end here if possible. Pat Freiermuth, I like. I would say if we could get Freiermuth and then Helm would be my next.
Oh, you got to keep it quiet. They're in the chat.
Helm would be the other guy that I feel good about him being the starter there. I think when Dallas Goedert is my tight end one, the Freiermuth Helm range, I want one of those guys at the Cade Otton. I would lump into that group as a tight end 3 just because I'm confident that they're going to be a starting tight end.
Put Gunnar in there. The good thing is between Gunnar, Schultz, and Goddard, there is no overlapping buy. So, we'll have hopefully 2 healthy tight ends in there. Oronde Gadsden 9. 9 takes Oronde Gadsden. Man, I'm not hearing the best of things about Oronde at all with the Chargers. It feels like they don't think he can block, and they're going to play Njoku ahead of him.
No, I wasn't joking. Charlie Kolar is a guy that I'm actually drafting.
Really?
I think he's the clear-cut tight end one. When you look at the preseason snap usage, you look at the press conference, and this is a guy. Obviously, he's not
He's not a pass
known
catcher
as
though.
he's not known as being a pass catcher. He was a pass catcher though in college, and maybe it just needed a different coaching staff to get a good look at him. But I do feel confident about him
Oh, wow.
being on the field the most. And there have been situations even in practice where he just seeps to the back of the end zone. I mean, he catches one touchdown, gives you 7 points on the week. That's enough to where how late he's going. And you're just buying snaps this late into the round, and he's a guy that I know is going to be on the field. So completely good, especially tied to that offense. Completely good taking Kolar, taking shots on him. I agree with you. Gadsden's upside is higher, but I feel much better about Kolar not being a complete zero this season. So he's a guy that I think is definitely draftable.
I think that whole tight end group is pretty shit. If I'm keeping
Yeah.
it real, there's too many of them. I don't like crowded situations. I want opportunities above all with my players. We need a quarterback with the next pick.
You
And
think you don't think we're good with the three that we have, or do we
we
have
only
two?
have two. We only have two, and I do like to have a third one in there in this cumulative format, just in case.
Yeah.
And the name I want to go with. So we know Deshaun Watson's a starter, but I'm not convinced that Deshaun Watson is capable of more than a 12-point performance. He stinks. So I'm thinking about Michael Penix here as just I feel like he's going to be starting within, 4 weeks anyway, kind of guy. Maybe even to start.
I'm so glad you said Penix. I thought you were going to try and convince me on one of the Browns quarterbacks, and
No.
I was hoping it would be Penix. I'm with you. From what I've heard, they're going to try and get Penix into the lineup as soon as possible. Still not healthy, but I mean, to me, that seems maybe week 3, which that works for me.
Who are your wide receiver targets? We've kind of gotten to round 18. We're getting actually beyond the underdog levels. And now we're in the zone of, let me see if I can move us up top here. Hang on.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Yeah, now we're, no, wait, you're covered by the draft Palooza. Wait, I don't like that. There we go. All right. So,
I almost don't want to spoil it till we get to our pick.
do you have some names here?
But there are definitely some.
I'm going to star off some names that I kind of like look at, and then I want you to tell me, oh, there goes Bateman. But I want you to tell me if any of these kind of overlap. I want to actually take your guys. I have my guys already. Like I've done millions of these. So I'm kind of looking at, I'm starting off a couple of names just that might be acceptable wide receivers. But yeah, very curious to your takes. Like given an easy stab late here, which direction are you going? How about Najee Harris? I don't say anything.
I don't mind him when you're getting this late. He's another guy guaranteed to I guess I mean not technically guaranteed, but I think it's a near lock that he makes the 53-man roster. I think Tyron Tracy. It's between Singletary and Tracy on who the
I'm
last
hearing
guy.
this now. How crazy is that?
Okay, well, I was gonna give you a wide receiver, but I think we're really thin on running back, and I didn't think Kalen Black was gonna get to us. I think we just grabbed Kalen Black here. This is what I was talking about. This I mentioned this 2 rounds ago, where I want a running back in the range where Kalen Black ends, and I didn't think he would make it this far. But round 19, I mean, this is a guy that I'm drafting in round 17, hoping that he gets me in 18. So I was not expecting him to get to round 19. It looks like from what I've seen in the preseason, I actually read a couple reports today. The thing about Brian Robinson, he did have a role with San Francisco last year, but they specifically addressed that as great as Brian Robinson was, he did make them pretty one-dimensional when he was on the field just because he couldn't catch passes. And they've been raving about how much they love that Kalen Black could be a one-for-one fit for CMC. And that's not only for injury. That's when, because CMC can't play the entire game. Sometimes they need a spell back. And what they've seen from Kalen Black is he can catch the ball, he can run the ball, and that's really what they were missing last year. And that's also why, as great as Brian Robinson was, they couldn't play him as much as they wanted to because it made them so one-dimensional. And again, this was a guy that I was already drafting before I was reading this report. So as soon as I saw that, I've been starring him as like, this is a guy that I want to try and get well above the field, which isn't going to be hard because he just started getting drafted within the last couple of weeks or so. But I absolutely love that we got him here.
Kalen Black is on my first page of exposures. I've been taking
Really?
him in
I love
round
that.
18. I had, you know what? I also have him in every dynasty league. So let me tell you what got me on him, okay? Because you're getting into proper details. You can catch a pass, this and that. I'll tell you what got me on him, and it was super simple. I was like, they drafted this fucking guy in the 3rd round, okay? That is a real draft capital expenditure on a running back, right? And it's the 49ers. They take 3rd round running backs and turn them into studs. So I was like, I don't know. Everybody thinks it's this guy, Jordan James. Who the fuck is Jordan James? A 7th round draft pick from the year before, a 6th. He's legitimately a 6th rounder from the year before, who they didn't like even last year. I'm like, why did they take this guy in round 3? So I say Shanahan's guy. He took him in round 3. One of the highest drafted running backs, literally this year, that people don't seem to be remembering. I think we go Jalen Wright with the last pick, unless you have another idea, by the way, or I should just.
Well, it was actually the first guy that you starred, Demario Douglas. I think is a
Douglas.
phenomenal pick.
Yeah,
It was so funny because as soon as you mentioned wide receivers, I like. I didn't. That's when I said I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to get sniped. And then I saw you start Demario, and I was like, "Oh no, he just started the guy I was gonna say." But this is a guy that he wasn't getting drafted most of the season, but now he's clearly locked into the slot role. And I know Kyle Williams is gonna work in, but from what I've seen, Demario Douglas is clearly ahead of Kyle Williams. And again, when you get to round 20 right now, I mean, I didn't look at the full board, but this guy might be the only last remaining wide receiver starter that's on the board right now. So I do like the running backs there, but I feel just a lot safer about getting a starting wide receiver right there. And I don't think he should be available in round 20. He's another guy in Drake May stacks I'm taking in round 18. So if you get him in round 20, that works for me.
Yeah, Pop Douglas. Ray Zanny, who's in the chat here, former BBM winner and crazy advance rate on his own. He's really good. So he's a New England guy, and he was on that earlier. So he was whispering that in my ear, weeks ago, even months ago, that we're talking about Booty. He's like, Booty's not even going to be on this team. It's going to be Pop Douglas in the slot, and everybody was taking Booty as the 3rd wide receiver. That's why Douglas didn't get drafted. It's because we saw Booty and we had a little bit higher perception of Booty. But the problem is Booty is literally like a less good version of Romeo Doubs. And they didn't need 2 of those on the same team. They have him. They have a slightly better Booty. Like slightly better Booty. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
Divorces happen over slightly better Booty.
Yeah, right. And the Booty is another guy that I feel comfortable reaching for right now. Just because I really do like the fit with Houston. I think he's gonna be the clear wide receiver too. And from what I have read about the beats, is I think we're gonna see a little bit more slot for Nico Collins, which would be great for Booty as the main guy on the outside with one-on-one coverage to go deep. So he's another guy that I want to say after Adonai Mitchell goes off the board, he's kind of someone that I just queue up right, because I think you can take him as high as Adonai Mitchell goes right after that range.
Wow.
I think eventually he will go near that range when projections catch up. I know a lot of sharp projection sources do have him significantly high if he does take the wide receiver 2 role. So
let's do our giveaway. Chat, last chance. If you have an account on Drafters, drop that name in the chat right now. I'm about to do the spin, give away a free main event ticket. If you have a Drafters account, let us know. Drop the name in the comment section. And if you don't have a Drafters account, you want to go get signed up over there, Hook20, you're already in here, bro. Don't fuck with me. You're in there. Only if your name's not in there. If you don't have a Drafters account, go check it out. Promo code DFSARMY will get you a $100 deposit. Their normal automatic deposit match, Sam, is only $50. So I made sure that our code actually does deliver a bonus when you sign up there. So it gets a $100 deposit match. And I think it's, listen, this is how I describe it. Trapped 290. This is how I describe it. You're going to do leagues against your friends. You do a $100 league against your buddies, right? And you get one league to watch. And of course, there's a lot of shit talking. We love it. But you invest $100 in that league. You have fun all season watching football for that league. So here, what I'm saying is invest $100 on Drafters, get $200 worth of entries. You'll wind up with, and they give you like a free main event ticket every 5. So you end up getting like 20 entries into the main event for $100. It's like $5 an entry for a $15 per entry contest. I cannot, there's no better. And then you could watch those and give yourself a shot at the weekly prize of $5,000 every single week. So, you know, I sound like a commercial for that site, which I don't want to sound like, because listen, I don't own them. I got nothing to do with them other than they gave me the free ticket, but I do like the contest style. And I do like, I like a bargain. You know who doesn't give you free shit? Underdog.
Underdog is awful. I mentioned I play on Underdog. Definitely not a sponsor, not advocating for it, but they give you absolutely nothing. Like Draftkings loads my inbox with promos. I know Drafters is the same way too, but Underdog, absolutely nothing as far as promos go.
Yeah, and now they're owned by an insane conglomerate anyway. So don't expect anything but less good coming from those guys in the future. Who'd you take in a 10-man league with the 9th pick? I'm gonna default that to you, but it's got to be James Cook, no? What do you think, Sam? 10-team league. Who do you take in the 9th pick?
9th pick. Yeah, I mean, if Sun God falls to you, I mean, sometimes he does. It would be Sun God, but yeah, after Sun God, I would say James Cook.
We should have a promo code like York to get your what did he pay for the hook? 120. So I don't have a $120 thing, but wouldn't it be $140? Like bring your year of NFL to $150. We charge this.
It's funny that happened in Ohio too. I live in Ohio. It's like, what are you doing in Ohio?
Like promo code York, and we charge the same as a trailer park hoe for a full year.
Yeah.
All right, we are going to do the spinner, guys. This is it. It's official. You're my judge advocate general here. Make sure this is all fair. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 names on the spinner for the giveaway. And this is the real deal. This is happening right now. You can see it. Let's see who gets it. Oh my, the last one who put his name in. The last guy, Willie M. You got it, dude. What's up, Willie? You got the ticket. Main event ticket will be in your account. Wait, let me send this over to my. I have to do it, Sam. If I don't actually send this to the rep right when it happens, I will always forget.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Now. Bam, send it. Paste. All right. Now, Sam, I don't know how much time you have left. Do you have time for another draft, or if you have to run, that's cool. I'll give you the outro. If you got time for another draft, want to hang out? I want to try to do a Survivor.
Totally. Yeah. So I do have back-to-back shows today with my company as well. So
all good. Go handle your business. But guys, Sam is going to be with me all season long in a partnership with DFS Army and Stat Rankings, where we're going to do a deep dive into the stats. Still coming up with a show title, a name, but we're going to be diving into things like pass rate over expectation, slot rates for particular wide receivers, things like zone versus man coverage and who's going to do what. The real nitty gritty of the stats that drive fantasy football outcomes, courtesy of Stat Rankings, which is the site that you are associated with, that is really putting together, it's really kind of competing and beating the big stat sites like PFF and those guys. So really good stuff. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Me and Kevin, I mean, we eat, sleep, breathe DFS, and I think it's going to be an awesome show. And yeah, I mean, as far as Stat Rankings goes, I mean, we're even taking Kevin's input on it. Any stat you could possibly imagine, possibly want, I mean, send it our way, and we're going to figure out a way to implement it to the site. So really excited for it. Really excited for you guys to test it out. And yeah, I can't wait to come back on.
Awesome, man. I appreciate having you on, Sam. And yeah, we'll see you probably next week for the first episode of our, breaking down the stats shows. So stay tuned for that. Good stuff. And I appreciate you coming on here. Thanks for the awesome insights and your best ball knowledge. Good luck with, how are you getting your best balls done, by the way? Are you fast drafting? Are you slow drafting? Do you just open a million slows?
Yeah.
How do you get the numbers?
Like I said, I have about 80-ish to go. And I just started like less than 2 weeks ago. So, I mean, my goal is to try and do 8 to 10 a day. Underdog is 20-second clock, so it kind of goes quicker than
You're
it did
fast
here.
drafting them. Oh, that's beast.
Yeah, faster. I mean, like I said, I go to the gym first thing in the morning. When I'm doing my cardio, I can get 3 to 4 drafts right then and there. So it's a grind, but it's worth it.
That's intense cardio, by the way. So
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, I can't do it, man. I'm trying to. I've drafted as many as I can draft live during these streams, and then I'll get a bunch of slows going. But I you know what happens with the slows. Oversleep one day, and all of a sudden you got a 50 auto pick disaster in your account.
Exactly.
And it's usually Jordan Tyson that you ended up taking. So good stuff, Sam. I appreciate you popping on, and I look forward to hanging out with you all season long. Very cool. All right, take care, my man.
Talk to you soon. See you.
All right, take care. All right, guys, that was Sam Chudry from Stat Rankings hanging out. Now, for the next draft, I just set up a survivor on drafters. These are tricky to fill, so I'm going to need some of you guys to pop in there. We're doing the survivor here, and I want to talk a little bit again about how the survivor contest. I love this contest. 9 is in there with me. I love this contest. This one is one of my favorites. So the way that this contest works, it is a 75% of the entire field advances every single week. So all you have to do is draft a team that doesn't suck. And you should be able to get all the way through to at least week 15 when it starts to 50%. And then week 16, we're down to 125. This is going to be, this is the one I want to do the most slows of. If you ask me, Kevin, if you want to fill out a contest from here till the end of the season with 150 lineups, this would be my top choice. Partially because the eliminator is already filled up on Underdog, so I can't do those anymore. With that being said, if we are going to draft this, I need a bunch of you guys to jump in here with me. So go sign up at Drafters, promo code DFSARMY, put your $100 in there and get in this draft with us so we could fill this thing. In the meantime, I'm just going to have to talk about whatever's going on. We'll tell some stories. Let's get some Twitter doctor action going. Hold on. Let's see what Dr. Deepak Chona has to say. But I've been getting a lot of the updates from camp right now. There's not been anything super here. Deepak. Here we go. Deepak. Let's see what Deepak got to say. This is my guy. All right, here we go. Let's do an update from Dr. Chona while you guys attempt to fill this thing. We got 5 in. We've got 7 more spots remaining. So get in there. The $10 Best Ball Championship Survivor on Drafters. In the meantime, let's get a little Deepak Chona update. Lemon or Stribling, he asks. I say, it's so tough. Probably Lemon. I have Lemon ahead of Stribling still in my rankings. Did I say another question that I missed? Who would I take? Yeah, 9th pick. I think you're taking James Cook if you can get him. Oh, here we go. Missed this one. Adam Time 13. 8-man redraft. What the fuck, dude? 8-man? I don't even know how to think through an 8-man team. Keeper league, 3 running back, 3 runner, 2 flex, Jonathan Taylor 3rd round, or Pickens in the 7th round. I'm taking Pickens. I'm keeping Pickens with the 7th round pick there. Although, yeah, I'm keeping Pickens there. But I would keep them both if you could. All right, Peter Sheridan, you are in. Mad Dog 66. Let's go. Need a few more people in this drafters draft. Here, we're at 9 of 12, so we need 3 more to fill it. We're going to fill it soon. Let's get the Deepak Chona update real quick. Malik Neighbors, comment suggests low concern. Very low threshold to pull him early. Soft tissue injury risk, double a normal wide receiver for the first 2 months. Concerning. Jamar Chase got banged up the other day in practice. He suspects he should be playing in week 1. No worries. Kenny Walker, comment suggests low concern. Shoe-related swelling. What the fuck is that, right? Shoe-related swelling. Sounds sketchy. Jeremiah Love, mild to moderate severity, ankle sprain, week 1 TBD. So we don't know if we're going to get Jeremiah Love for week 1. Laporta return looks promising. Likely a value at ADP of 87. There you go. Tucker Kraft, data favors a 4 to 6 week ramp up, but with high efficiency right away, given athletics and metrics. So Tucker Kraft coming off of injury. We'll see. Puka Nacua. He's reassured for week 1 that he's working against resistance on the sideline. Low concern. You know, Puka's a banged up guy, though. Puka's a guy that gets hurt a lot. That is a real concern with him relative to some of those other stud wide receivers. Mike Evans, mild injury, could play week 1 without a dip, but high re-injury risk, soft tissue injury, age. Mike Evans is an injury risk. James Conner, even upon return, data favors slow ramp up, real efficiency dip, low expectations. All right, no big deal. We get Josh Downs with a mild calf injury, slightly increased odds. This is the one I'm waiting for. Alec Pierce, if practicing today, likely still accelerating normal post-op ramp up to play in week 1. Lean toward return week 1 to 4 with a production dip and elevated initial injury risk. So, I mean, Alec Pierce is one of those guys that I think a healthy Alec Pierce is going to be a weapon. But like this kind of contest right here, the Survivor, we don't want anybody who's going to be overly injured early on. Here we go. We filled it. Good job, everyone. Let's go to the draft. We're doing a Survivor. Again, this contest does not require and will not reward stacking. It's not going to hurt it, but it's not going to reward it. This is a contest where we want to build a monster team that is robust, that has bye-week coverage. You could take handcuffs for your own running backs in a contest like this. All our goal is to get to the last 3 weeks. We just want to survive the 25% Hunger Games cuts every single week and get towards that end goal. Fun contest. I really, like I said, I wish I could get 100 lineups in here, and my whole goal every week will be, let's try to get all those lineups another week in. Like the more weeks you can keep your full hundo or your full 50 or your full 25 or however many you pull in here, the more likely your chances are. What it comes down to is in that final 125 lineup sprint in the final, the more you really want to have a few lineups. That just one, tough to win, right? Sub 1% chances. But if I got 20 in there, I got a real shot. Okay. We'll keep it chalk here. Take Puka. Puka's a beast. Tebow time, you in here? Let's see who's in here with us. 9 is in there. I got Mert in here with me. Mad Dog 66 is in the house. That's what's up. Marksy Bay, Jay Jones. So I don't know you guys. So for the most part, it looks like we got Mad Dogs. 9, Mert. And as you can see here, this would be my 4th Survivor draft so far. Tebow time, man. Whenever you need to take your mind off of things, this is the spot. I will fill it up with the sweet words of fantasy football. You might get a story or two that has nothing to do with fantasy football. That's how Draftapalooza goes. Just a reminder, the last time I checked on the DFS Army YouTube channel, we were up to 29. Remember I told you I wanted to hit 30,000 subscribers before NFL? We were 9 subscribers away from 30K. So if you're watching this and you're not subscribed to the DFS Army YouTube channel, I need like 9 more to hit my goal of 30K. Get in there and subscribe. It costs you nothing. Costs you nothing to subscribe. But this will be my 4th. This will be my 4th draft for this eliminator survival contest. 4 is not enough. I genuinely want like 40 or 50. I'm going to have to figure out how to hammer some slows out over the next week or two. Obviously, I'm shutting down Draftapalooza after this week, primarily because the channel here is going to focus fully on DFS. That's what we do, and that's our bread and butter. But all of the tools are in place. My best ball rankings in place. If you're doing your redraft league and you're a DFS Army subscriber, my draft kit is available for you to crush your competition with. That's available in the Discord in my coach's notes channel for NFL, alongside the DFS Army playbook. 5 books that I've written for this year covering main slates, showdowns, how to optimize for them, what the pros do, a full pro lineup study of the top 20 pros by volume. You can use that. The way I interpret that information might be different from how you interpret it, which is why I strongly encourage everybody to go read those books. That's what you should be doing now. It is training season for DFS. It is get your mind right. We'll be doing back testing tonight at 8 p.m. weeks 4, 5, and 6 from the 2025 season. We're going to relive them. We're going to optimize for them. We're going to show what it would have taken on the optimizer to win them. And that training, alongside the learnings from the Cracking the DFS Code book, are what put us to an edge. Let's see what happens here. Bernice takes Genty. I was hoping once again that I could get Genty there. No luck. We're gonna go wide receiver. I'm going Neighbors here, man. I think it's a little risky in this contest format. Tight end Bowers is gone. I don't like Neighbors early season. Bam. I don't like Neighbors that much early season, but I don't know. I'm going to do it. I haven't done much of that in the Eliminator, and I think I could make up for that pick. I'm just trying to survive the 75% cut, and once Neighbors ramps up, he's going to be a beast. Yeah, watch those buys, man. It's hard. It's hard to pay attention until after you make the pick. Watch those buys, 9. Bye weeks are crazy. I also just recorded a video that is not yet live on the DFSARMY YouTube channel, but be on the lookout for it. I did the 10 rules of main slate lineup drafting video coming out probably Monday, but just more lessons from the Cracking the DFS Code book, which is available on Amazon or free to all DFS Army subscribers, but more lessons from that book. I like to keep drilling home the lessons on a per chapter basis about correlations, how lineups need to be constructed, and kind of all of those good things. So yeah, we started with 2 wide receivers, got to go running back. We'll go Kyron. This is a survivor. I'm not trying to, now this is full PPR, so it's not quite the same thing as Underdog survivors, where it's all about the running backs. We still want those super stud wide receivers to give us big scores each week, but got to get some decent running back talent on board. I could have gone with Rashee Rice there. I love Lad McConkey. You know, there's a lot of other names that I really like, but it is what it is. Also, a reminder, again, for those of you guys watching, this is it. It's August 27th. Promo code BOOK, our big 20% off sort of early bird special for the 2026 season, ends at the end of August. There's like a couple of days left to use that code BOOK if you're not signed up at DFS Army already, to lock in a 20% off subscription for whatever plan that you want that we have. You could do the year, a VIP is the way to go. VIP, you know how we do, right? VIP is the way to go. You get all sports, all coverage, everything DFS related. We don't charge separately for niche sports. We don't have a separate subscription for NASCAR or PGA or MMA or anything like that. It's all included. And after the discount, VIP will be $79 a month. Again, compare it to our competition, lesser, fewer sports, no college football, all that stuff. They're charging $300 a month just for NFL a month. So come get signed up at DFS Army. Hang with the cool kids. It's a great community, and everybody in the chat here already is part of it, or most of you guys are already part of it. So you already know, but I have to mention it. It is go time as far as the season goes. And most of you guys are just going to, even just to get the draft kit. I don't suggest waiting. You know, you're drafting your redraft teams here in the next couple weeks. And yeah, you could go pull like some generic ESPN rankings. They're terrible. and just be a generic team that loses again and again. Or, I've been drafting best ball all off season, making videos, talking to all the smartest people. My rankings account for everything. And I think you will win your fantasy league if you use them. So go check that out. Again, ranking sheet, draft kit. It's customizable for every site, and it is available in our Discord. All right, here we go. We are back on the clock in a second. I need another running back, but I think I can dice roll it another round and try to grab a stud wide receiver here, or Colston Loveland, who I don't mind. But no, this format, we want to get our wide receivers in there. I could just pluck a pile of, oh boy. All right, Puka and Kyron, same team, bye week 11, no worries. But I could pluck a pile of tight ends later in this draft. So I'm not worried. I always default to not super worried about the tight end position, especially in a format like this, where the king of this format is always going to be consistency, depth of team, making sure that you're just got guys scoring for you every single week, that you can account for injuries. Injuries are going to happen. Is your team elastic enough to handle those injuries, get through them, survive, and then have those players come back? Here we go. Scatman off the clock goes to Jay Jones. This guy, Jay Jones, is a extreme veteran, 99 drafts already. Mark C. Bay, 30. So listen, people have been drafting here, clearly for a while. And I'm kind of new to this site. But, I like it. I like the site. And I love the format. I think we're going to win one of these. I genuinely think that, I actually believe that if I put enough lineups into this thing, that I will win this. All right, here we go. Jadarian Price, RB number 2. I don't mind reaching a little bit on Jay Prizzles. Jadarian Price, Jay Prizzles. I don't mind reaching a little bit because I think he's a stud. All right. Devonta Adams goes. I like Jadarian a lot more than Bucky Irving, so I'll take that all day. Terry McLaurin at 55. Forgot about Ramondre at 56. I like Ramondre a lot too. Forgot about Dre. Tebow time. You got to get in. You got to see the back test stream we did for showdowns. I'm not sure if you were there or not, but the back test team for showdowns was crazy. We won all 3 showdowns on our first click. The amount of preparation and correlation that we build into the domination station rule set is crazy. Everybody's going to love it because you're always asking me, what rule should I make for the dom station? I was like, I don't know, for showdowns, because I didn't know. Now I do know, and I've tested it. Like an answer that in the past I've always had to say, I don't really know, or I don't have any special settings. No more. We have an intense and specific set of simulation boost settings for showdowns that leads to a 20% win rate in these contests, which again, that's 10 times the next best thing. Normally it's about a 2% win rate. To have a 20% win rate is unheard of. People are going to take notice this year. I promise you. They're going to take notice. They're going to see. Helmet after helmet. We're not playing games. I've got one more Draftapalooza coming, guys, for tomorrow afternoon. So it's not quite done. Got one more to go. Unless the weather's really nice and we get a pool day. I think that's a little too soon for Caleb. Yeah. Main slate, we're gonna do more. You don't have to catch up on the old one. Just jump on a new one for tonight. You can catch up the old ones as well. But like catch it, do the new one. We'll just do them live. We're hanging out. The back test streams are super casual, guys. Like when we're doing back testing, it takes a long time. There's a button click that sometimes you have to wait a minute or two until all the lineups run. So could not keep it any more casual than we are. It's just super casual, super chill. Let's see what's going on. Let's not go crazy. Jonathan Brooks is 70. We're at 70 right now. Wow, I was going to take Warren. To take my rings, to take my Rolex. How you like my first 5 picks? 6 pick, 10-man, Polka, Genty, Neighbors, Igbuka, Hertz. Fuck yeah, man. That's an awesome. It's hard to judge 10-person leagues, but man, that sounds really, really good. I love Puka. Love Genty. There, you got a bargain on Genty. Fucking love Neighbors with an F-bomb. Igbuka's fine. And Hertz is great. I'm not super high on Igbuka this year. I'm one of the I'm not going to say I'm a hater, but I just don't draft him because I think you could just get other guys. But who cares? Took Igbuka there. Even if it doesn't work out, still an awesome draft. And Igbuka, it should be good. So I like it. I like it. For the draft. For that draft. Oh shit. DFST. I feel like busting a rap out. I feel like it's time. Oh, we need a quarterback. My quarterback. Yeah, T-Law. Yeah, Igbook is good, but, he gets banged up. So what? You shouldn't be too worried. There's going to be lots of depth available. The only thing kind of missing from this team is a little more kind of running back prowess. Like, see a little more running back prowess in those first few rounds. Do we think the Mob Deep is Mob Deep going to get a strike against the channel if I play this? I feel like I want to have this whole draft play out with this. When I put this on, how loud does it sound to you guys? Like, is it offensively loud? I can't tell. Or is it like reasonable sound? I feel like I can just have this looping while we just talk through a draft. And it would make the Draft-a-Palooza more fun. Let me know in the comments, guys, because I cannot hear that music. Like, is it quiet? I can hear it, but I can't hear what you hear. I can't compare it to my voice volume. Like, I feel like drafting to this the whole time. Oh, shit. Justin Herbert. Not loud? Okay. Like, I just bossed out with like a, the steals I purvey, you're always mad delicious. To blow you up like a piece of bubblicious and I'm vicious. I put you in stitches. And in my pockets, I possess mad riches macking bitches. Is my forte. Still represent DFS Army. Like my shit. Your styles be reeking. Like my mouth. The knowledge is seeping. Just like next pick, probably need a running back. 3 volume rated. The greatest instrumental of all time. Break a phone coming down when I got to tweak that ass. Throw that ass one time. It's that Chief ST. I'ma leave your ass blind. Cause the ruck is for all you motherfuckers. Don't you know me and draft tram like smuckers? All right, enough. Actually, I'm enjoying it. Who's next? We got 1 quarterback, 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers. Need a tight end. Wide receiver group still looking pretty decent. Running back crew starting to whittle down, but still okay. QBs, we'll definitely take another one at some point. I think we can wait. Get another running back in there, Joe Mace. Watch that Mob Deep end up like channel harming the channel, getting strikes because it's somebody else's music. I was like, but I put the words to it, motherfucker. The hell? We are drafting in the Survivor on Drafters. Doing draft and Mob Deep. I can't actually freestyle anymore. I used to do it when I was like 20, 19, 18. We hide up, freestyle. No worries. I don't even monetize these. You're just drafting. I don't care. Cortland Sutton, Addison, Concepcion. We need our tight end here. So let's grab one of these guys. 104, 112. I'm taking, wide receiver. Let's go Koso. Here we go. Brutal keeper decision. Keep Neighbors, Chase Brown, HN at the 1 spot. Then Rashee Rice at the 6th and Loveland at the 8. I want to keep Neighbors so bad, but I think I have to do Chase Brown and Loveland. So let's see here. You're allowed to keep 2, I'm assuming. You got to give me the full breakdown. I'm assuming if you're allowed to keep only 2. I don't want to keep anybody at the 1 spot. Again, why waste you're going to get a good player in round 1 anyway. Why would you don't use a 1 spot keeper? Don't use it. I think your keepers here, again, assuming that I'm seeing this correctly, I would be keeping Rashee Rice for sure at the 6, right? Because he's a 2nd round pick. And you only get to keep 2. Yeah, I honestly, because the other 3 are 1st round and you'll get players like that in round 1, I think your keepers are Loveland and Rice. Like, I don't think you keep Neighbors. Neighbors is going to be there for you. You could just pick him in round 1. He's probably there for you in round 2. So you don't even need to pick it. Actually, in a keeper league, you might need to, he might be there in round 1. Oh, you have to keep someone at the 1 spot. Oh, you're forced to use a 1st round. Oh, yeah, it's no, for me it would be Chase Brown. Yeah, it's Chase. I like Neighbors too, and I think Neighbors is going to be great, but it's Chase Brown. Because look where Chase Brown goes. Chase Brown goes at the end of round 1, and Neighbor goes at the end of round 2. You might as well, if you spend a 1st round pick on a 2nd round player and keeper, you're not even gaining any edge. It's weird that you have to keep a 1st rounder. It would be cool if you can keep one of those guys and then Rice and Loveland. Keep all of them. Did you guys like having the Mob Deep in the background? Let me know. We've got a quarterback, 4 running backs, 4 wide receivers. This is the survival format. So all we need are solid yeoman-like scores across the board. Don't need individual smashes. We got to cover up our buys so we don't have naked buys. Kind of want players who are going to stay healthy. Yeah. Is it Rice in the 6th or Loveland in the 8th? I think for me, I will actually favor Rice in the 6th, but I totally understand if you did it different. Boom. Oh, Debo. Oh no. That's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, Chase and Loveland and Runny. Yeah, man. I think it's great. I love Loveland. Loveland might be TE1 after this year. Like Loveland, the arrow's pointing up for Loveland. Again, I love Rashee Rice too, but to each their own. To me, Rashee Rice is I'd want him, I love him too. So that's all I'm saying. Malik Washington going in around 10 was not on my bingo card for this. People are just drafting stupid. This guy, Jay Jones, 99 drafts. What are you doing, bro? That's too soon on a backup running back, man. Likely. Going Goddard here. Checking bye weeks, making sure that none of these quarterbacks that might still be here when I pick are overlapping with T-Law. Bye weeks are very important. So with tight ends, same idea. If I took Goddard by week 10, I'm just going to make sure that other tight ends that I might consider are not bye week in week 10 so we can get that. Yeah, there you go. See, why are you switching it up? Go back to what worked. Got to go back to what worked. Boom. I don't remember what I had a Rashee Rice team too, and I ended up winning. I think I ended up winning the league, but I don't know if like I lost Rice in the playoffs. I don't remember what happened last year. There's Travis Kelce. Wow, that's a good price for Travis Kelce. I thought about taking Kelce over Goddard when my pick came up. I think they're roughly similar, but I went with Goddard. Need to get that second quarterback, and I at this point going forward for the next couple rounds, I'm beefing up my quarterback and probably beefing up my tight end positions. Get a little more beef in those spots, and then we'll jump back over and kind of finish up with more wide receivers and running backs towards the end. But these are the rounds where we need to beef up those other position groups a little bit. Guys, I see 9 in here. I see a bunch of you guys in here. Yeah, try to get as many of these survivors in. I'm telling you, these are really fun contests to check in season. It's the only thing I'll check. Like, there's not even that much excitement in checking your underdog BBMs. It's not that much fun in that because, it's so fluctuating. No matter what you did all season, it doesn't really help you in the playoffs anyway. Just looking for teams to make the playoffs in BBM, and you only really check it week 14. Like, I don't care. So these contests every single week matters. And that to me is what makes it a little more fun. I don't know. Just call me crazy, but that's kind of how I see it. Yeah, we're running out of players here. We're running out of bodies at the quarterback position. I guess I'll just take CJ Strizzles and hope for the best. I was hoping Baker Mayfield might somehow get there, but a couple names late. I don't mind. Yes, that's exactly right. That's right. Like when A.J. Brown misses, not just Devontae Smith, but Dallas Goedert really benefits a lot as well. So that's been happening over the last few years. And I think that's the overlook that's happening in ADP right now. I just don't think it's accounted for what this guy does and what he's done. And they don't have a proper replacement for AJ Brown in Philadelphia. As much as they might, oh, we like this guy or that guy, they don't have a proper replacement. They don't have it. I mean, you know, it's the turd Ferg spot, kind of, right? Can look at quarterback, and no, we can wait. I'm just going to take turd. It's a little higher than I normally take turd Ferg, but I'll do it one time for this one. Remember, again, this contest, I'm all about just building depth at every position group. Just try to make it through the season. Try to avoid zeros. Be in the top 75%. Like Jordan Tyson, he's not helping you. That guy's out for months. That's a terrible pick in this contest, right? So this guy who has 107 drafts, probably auto picking, but like you're taking Jordan Tyson, who's going to be out for a month or a month and a half, you know, all right, I guess at 149, it's not the end of the world, but I do not think this is a person that is going to help anybody advance. 9, be careful about Tyrone Tracy. I actually need to lower him in my rankings. Just all the words out of Giants camp have been terrible about Tyrone Tracy. They're bringing in Najee Harris. There's even a possibility Tyrone Tracy could get cut. So, yeah, turd has been talked up. I think what happened is, and I don't necessarily trust this talk up at all, but I was taking Turd Ferguson with the last pick in a lot of my early best balls. Like literally, he was the last pick guy. And now the ETR guys, I think, talked him up or ranked him significantly higher than he should be ranked, in fairness. You know, hype buyers, I would say, over there. And so now he's just running up the draft boards. And for the most part, I don't draft him here anymore because I actually don't agree with those guys about the ranking. I think that, but I said, fuck it, I'll take it one time here. But generally, as an overview of that player, man, there's a lot of tight ends in LA. Like there are actually Colby Parkinson, Tyler Higbee is, I think, still on the team. They drafted a guy, I think his name's Max Clare. They've got Turd Ferg. There's just so many tight ends that I just doubt that any individual one of them can excel all that much. I think there'll be good weeks for Fergie, but not anything consistent. Definitely not a consistent score. But, you know, he's running more routes. Okay, you know, they have that news coming out of training camp. I don't know if I buy any of it. You know, that was the same group that was pushing Jacoby Myers last season when I was pushing Parker Washington as the next big deal. They're like, no, it's Jacoby Myers. Okay. So who you want to listen to? The one who gets it right or the one who's loud about it? That's what you got to decide. Get it right or, you know, the perceived wisdom of the crowd. There's comfort in wisdom of the crowd. Oh, it's nice and cozy. I'm here with all these other people. Keeps it warm, cozy, wisdom of the crowd. But in the end of the day, if you want to win in fantasy football, you want to win in basketball, you want to win in these formats, you got to do your own thing. You got to do your own thing. Yeah, let's go Adonai Mitchell. Bam. Get another wide receiver in the mix. We'll probably go quarterback with the next one and then consider some more tight end action with the last few picks. And we'll grab some of those late round running backs that could elevate. This format is perfectly fine to grab some late round running backs. So I'd be cool with that. I do have a bunch of kind of like injury prone wide receivers in the secondary group here with Sutton, Debo, and not so much Adani, but Neighbors is in there and Puka. So this team has a lot of, let's call it fragility going on with all these sort of injury prone names. But I also have 4 really kind of what I think are fairly solid running backs. I do have an overlapping bye week with Kyron and Price, which is concerning now that I see that. And we're definitely going to need a few more running backs to beef that up, and certainly not necessarily. I would take Charbonnet just as a handcuff to Price, but I'll need somebody that's not on the same team as those guys. Fuck, Kamara. Oh, there, maybe Kamara in a little bit. So let me start him off. I just need somebody who's going to be a live body for week 11 to balance out the rest of this lineup. So Sharbies is ADP of 165. Damn. Or I got to take my quarterback number 3 here, who will not be there for me. Yeah, I got to take the brisket here. Jacoby Brissett, probably not going to be there if I wait. I actually don't think that Jacoby Brissett is going to be super relevant. By week 14, they'll probably have him pulled and probably be starting the rookie at that point. But what I need Brissett for is mostly just the first few weeks, and mostly weeks 7 and 8 to cover for, when my other guys have a bye week. Plus, CJ Stroud is pretty shit. So it's not a bad thing for me to have an extra QB in Brissett, who's pretty solid for 20 points most weeks, which is all I need in this Survivor format. Has Mike Washington been taken? Dude, Mike Washington, I think, went hours ago. Like, let me see where he went. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 159. I love Mike Washington, though. I'm on board with that pick. I take him all the time. Mike Washington will be one of my higher owned guys. Trey Tucker, similar. I like WR1s that I can get in rounds 14, 15, and 16. That is a good way to play best ball. Not necessarily fantasy football, because in fantasy football, those guys are on your bench when they pop off. But in best ball, you want those WR1s, even if they're inconsistent on a bad team. Keyshawn Booty. There he goes. Am I allowed to play this? I don't know. I'm doing it. Could use another running back. Kamara, Charbonnet on my list. Looking at tight ends here. Barner, Saduk, Guna. All good. All right, that's enough. I like it. I think it's more fun with the sound in the background, but there goes Dulcich, Malachi Fields off the table. Chris, 27 drafts in, taking Calvin the Riddler. The Riddler. Yeah, this is the Sharby spot. I'm taking Charbonnet strictly as a, as a handcuff to Jadarian Price. One guy gets hurt, the other guy comes in, we'll be smashing. But I remain dangerously high on week 11 bye weeks. I'm going to try to grab some other, garbage to fill in, but we might not get there. We're drafting in the survival contest on Drafters. This is a fun contest. Of course, a lot of you guys have your redraft leagues coming up this week. This is redraft season now. If you're in a redraft league, you should be drafting this upcoming week. So make sure to grab my draft kit in the DFS Army Discord. It's for subscribers only. Got to get a tight end. We'll grab another one even later, but I needed a third one. Overlapping bye with Goddard, but that's all right. Kalen Black, Kamani Vidal. I'm going to start starting off, running backs that probably just will be in the game at some point. Samaji, we want to Fernando, take a shot. Wide receiver group here. What I just do is kind of go in and highlight these guys that might be useful. Yeah. We're in round 17. This guy, Philip Anthony, just filled out his 150th entry into this contest. Let's see what his draft looked like. Amon-Ra, HN, Waddle, Swift, Stevenson, Fannin, Kincaid, Shug, Coker, Taji, Spears. Nothing special. Boom. Couple more rounds left. Will be the end of this one. Guys, Draftapalooza will be back tomorrow. At noon, Ray Zanny's joining me, I think. That should be a fun one. Always love having Ray Zanny on the show.
Fist bump push-up testing. FEC's a way of life. I'm a Guido for life.
Love having Ray Zanny on. Yesterday, we had our big DFS Army NFL team meeting where we went over all the shows for each week. And Bobby Wow is back. Josiah Josati, he's back. Burns coming back. DFS Up North going to be a lot more prevalent in our showdown breakdowns this season, which is exciting. No more after-school hockey coaching for him. Getting in the game. Excited about it. Got Tattoo and Raz coming back to do the live before locks every week. And of course, you met Sam earlier today. He's going to be part of our weekly show cadence, doing a specific stats-focused show. That's cool. We're in round 18. I'm just going to take Mendoza. Beef up that QB group a little bit. I was going to take Kalen Black, but somebody grabbed him. Oh, yeah. Of course, Mert. He's watching the fucking stream. Got him. Najee Harris is gone. Manny Wilson, gone. Jalen Wright, Mad Dogs. That's what's up. Actually, I like the pick. I don't hate it, but, I'm not happy about it. I literally just start off a bunch of names on my screen, and then they were all gone. Not fun. There's no more running back at all here that is even going to play. At all. I'll just have to navigate that week 11 bye situation with Brooks and Mason and hope for the best, but that is terrifying. Week 11. That's the danger zone. Maybe Nicholas Singleton? None of these guys are going to play. Oh, come on, Mad Dogs. This is the problem. I can't play these leagues if you guys are taking all my plays. Njoku. I got 4 quarterbacks, 4 tight ends, 6 wide receivers, 5 running backs. The only downside is I've got 3 of my 5 running backs all having week 11 buys. Nothing I can do about it. Was going to grab some names. Just kept disappearing. I'd add LaQuinta Allen. Oh, maybe Des Claiborne. Maybe I'll do that as a backup to Mason. Claiborne's not very good. He's a little teeny guy. But what else am I going to do? All good, my man. All good. Listen, that's why we're streaming it. You know, like it's on me. I shouldn't have been I can't star off the names. I just got to keep it silent. Talk about past picks instead of what's coming up. This has been a lot of fun, though. Again, back tomorrow. Couple more drafts. I'm just going to keep hammering these Survivor and Drafters ones. I've got pretty much my Underdog eliminators filled up. There's no more left. And I just don't enjoy the Draftkings BBM or the Underdog BBM as much. So I'd rather just draft these. Yeah, 4 to 6 main slate back testing. Back tonight at 8. Relive the 2025 NFL season, which we had a ton of success for, especially handcrafting. Relive that. We're going to be doing that through this week and into next week. We'll be doing back testing as well. 100% focus of DFS starting next week. Getting ready for NFL week 1. You know what? No, they did get another guy, but he's not getting drafted either. It's just people are so sick of Evan Ingram. He just goes undrafted. But no, they didn't really draft a replacement. It's kind of an interesting phenomenon. It is an interesting phenomenon. I don't think it's that bad of a pick, but he was just so bad last year that everybody's just like, I don't want him. Fuck him. Wide receiver, I only have 6 of them. But at this point, you know, everybody who's even showing any kind of a pulse has been taken. So there's just no point in too much of these kind of names. Maybe Darnell Mooney has a chance to pop, but like, I don't think so. Anybody who's worth anything is already gone. Let's go Des Claiborne with our last pick. Functions a little bit as a backup for Jordan Mason anyway, so might as well. All right, guys. There we go. There you have it. Draftapalooza. Draftapalooza week coming to a close. One more day. Tomorrow, Friday. Last day of Draftapalooza. Again, promo code BOOK. Last chance to get 20% off any DFS Army subscription level. It's $100 for VIP, less 20, $79 a month. What is that? That's less money than if you went and bought a Starbucks every day for a week. Our competition is charging $300 a month for their crapola tools. No back testing, no teaching, no nothing. Generic. And we already saw with the shark study that their sharks do not use their tools the way that they tell you to use them. So all I'm telling you is DFS Army is the spot. Promo code BOOK, 20% off. You want to read the book, cracking the DFS code, go get it on Amazon. If you don't want to sign up at DFS Army, you could also do a channel membership here. We have a YouTube membership where you get some benefits, some early access to some videos. Again, DFS Army members never need to do that, but if you're not, might as well do it. Molson, the $15 entry went to Trapped 920. We did run that. Yeah. Look, customer service, but like you access me. I'm there in the chat. In the for DFS players by players. I'm in the chat with you. When I have ideas, you're getting them in our Discord. That's the difference. We're all hanging out. We will have another drawing for the $15 ticket tomorrow, Molson 1021. So come back tomorrow, drop your name. We will do another drawing. One more main event ticket. Maybe I'll see if I can get a couple of tickets for tomorrow. I'll call their producer and see if I can squeeze out a few. So make sure to be back here tomorrow, 12 o'clock, probably, for another draft. Make sure you check out the DFS Army YouTube channel. I've got a first look out. We've already got the way too early first looks for FanDuel and DraftKings on the site. I've got all kinds of videos breaking down DFS strategy for 2026 right here on the YouTube channel as well. So I've been putting them up. I got another one coming out on Monday. I'm trying to drill home the fundamentals during training camp, which is right now, so that when DFS season, when we're in season, we are ready to crush. I expect to have another incredible season. You're going to see DFS Army helmets on top of DraftKings, on top of FanDuel. It's going to be helmet after helmet everywhere you look. It's going to make you sick if you didn't join us. You're going to be like, fuck, man, I should have signed up. But man, now I don't have that 20% off. I don't want to sign up now. I should have done it then. Just do it now. You won't regret it. Just do it now. Promo code BOOK, celebrating the 5 playbooks that I put out this year, unlike anything you've ever seen before. All right, that's going to do it for me. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Helmets up, motherfuckers. Let's go.
Kevin the Geek.